Hello Year 9. Let's see if you can remember what we were doing last lesson. Let's do these quick review questions. So number 1, an electrical store advertises a 15% discount on all equipment. Find the sale price on a projection system that has a marked price of $18,000. Okay, so first of all, we need to find 15%, which means 15 over 100. And we need to times that by the $18,000. Okay, so we type that in our calculators. So that's $2,700. Okay, now this is a price that has been put on sale. So that means that we need to take that off the original $18,000. So start with 18,000, subtract off the 2,700, and you'll find the sale price of the projection system. So 15,300. Okay, question 2. A manufacturer produces an item for $400 and sells it for $540. Determine the profit made. Okay, so that's just how much has it gone up by. We're going to subtract them. 540, you always start with the bigger number and subtract off the smaller number. So 540 minus 400, that is a $140 profit that they've made. But in part B, I want to write that profit as a percentage of the cost price. So I start with the $140 and I put it over the original price of the item, which is the 400. So you always make it a fraction, and then to turn it into a percentage, you have to times that by 100. Okay, and then in the calculator. That's 35%. Okay, so going on to our new work for today, we're talking about wages and salaries. When you get a job, it's most likely that you will get paid either a wage or a salary. And if you have a job right now as a teenager, it's most likely that you're getting a wage, which is a payment that is based on an hourly rate of pay. So you might work at a shop somewhere and they might pay you a certain number of dollars per hour. If you're lucky, you might also get overtime for working on weekends or after hours or those kinds of things. The other main type of pay that we're talking about is a salary, which is a fixed regular payment. So it's not how many hours you do, it is a certain amount of pay that you get to do the job no matter what, just as long as you get the job done. So you could probably have a bit of a discussion, have a bit of a think. If you could think of some jobs that might get paid a wage. So a wage would be anyone who works in the shops like we were talking about, the people who work in Coles, or maybe you could think of somebody like a plumber. When you call them out to your house to do a job, they're getting paid an hourly rate of pay usually. And then maybe have a think about a salary earner. So a teacher earns a salary. A lot of business people earn salaries. Okay, so we're going to be doing some calculations based on people's wages or salaries. To do that, we're going to need to know how to convert between different lengths of time, like years, days, months, that kind of thing. So that's in the box here for you to help you. So a year has 365 days. It's also 12 months and 52 weeks. Fortnights we use occasionally. There is 26 fortnights in a year because there is 2 weeks in a fortnight. And finally, 1 week has 7 days. So keep that in mind. Let's look at our questions. Number 1. Reese is a painter and is paid $9.75 per hour. Calculate Reese's wage in a week in which he works for 36 hours. If he earns $9.75 for 1 hour, I just need to times that by 36 if he works for 36 hours. Okay, let's type it in. 9.75 times 36. He gets paid $351. Let's try another one. William earns a salary of $136,875 each year. Approximately, how much is this each month, then week, then day? Okay, so you wouldn't get paid all of that money all in one go. So let's see, if he was going to get paid per month, we would take the 136,875. Because that's for a year and there are 12 months in a year, I would divide that by 12 to find out how much he would get in each month. So that is $11,406.25. Okay, what about if he got paid per week instead? All right, so we're still going to start with his annual pay, his yearly pay, and there are 52 weeks in a year, so this time I'm going to divide it by 52. So we can just delete that last bit and divide 52. So that's 2,632. Now, because we're talking about money, we want to do two decimal places. So I want to do 0.21. And finally, how much would he be getting per day? So he's starting annual pay again. We're going to divide by 365 because there's 365 days in a year. So let's just back arrow that again. Divide by 365 and he gets $375 a day. Okay, moving on to question 3. Ken earns an annual salary of $59,735 and he works for 38 hours per week. Okay, so there's Ken. His wife Brooke works part-time and she earns $21.80 per hour. So we have two different people that we're looking at here. Part A, how much does Ken earn per week? Okay, so Ken I've highlighted there in yellow. He earns the 59,700. Let's write that down, 59,735 per week, but that's in a week where he is working 38 hours. So I don't really mind about the 38 hours, yet. If that 59,000 is for a whole year, there are 52 weeks in a year. I just want to divide that by 52. So he gets 1,148 and 75 cents. Okay, part B, who has the higher hourly rate of pay? Well, we already know that Brooke is the green one here. She's getting $21.80 per hour. But I still don't know what Ken is getting per hour. Now I need to think about this 38 hours part. He is earning this 1,148 and 75 cents per week. If I divide that by 38, that will tell me how much he's getting per hour. So 1148.75. I'm going to divide that by 38 because he works 38 hours a week. So let's just go divide 38. And he is getting $30.23. Okay, so that means If he's getting $30.23 and she's only getting $21.80, then he is getting a higher hourly rate of pay. So we're going to say, therefore, Ken has the higher hourly pay. And part C, if Brooke works for 18 hours per week, what is her yearly income? All right, we're focusing on Brooke now. So Brooke gets $21.80 an hour. If she works for 18 hours, I'm going to times that by 18, that's how much she would earn in a week. But I want to know how much she's going to get in a year. There are 52 weeks in a year, so I'm going to times that by 52. Okay, if we times all that together, that will be her yearly pay. So 20,404 and 80 cents. Okay, so that's the end of the examples. Your work starts here on page 22.